Hey Isaac, I am Aysel, the current MC of Isaac in Azerbaijan. And today I am very excited to take you through an activity from a session called the Leader's Cut, specifically designed for LCPs to reflect on their leadership journey. And with that, we are going to use Avengers movie as a lens to understand team dynamics, team phases, and also how leadership choices impact the team performance. So for that, I would like you to imagine a situation. So imagine your EB team is a movie. And with that, of course, every member from your team is a character. And every challenge that you are going to face in this journey is a plot twist of your movie. And finally, you are the one who are writing the story and you are the director. So how you are going to guide your team determines that if your story's ending is successful or unsuccessful. So with that activity, we are going to explore team phases through different timelines and how is this connected with the Avengers story. And with that, you are also going to reflect on your leadership style that you are using currently within your EB team. With that being said, together we are going to explore 4 different team phases that you will 100% experience in your LCP journey. And if you are a very big fan of Avengers, listen closely because we will have the examples from them. So the first phase that you're going to experience is the forming phase, which is also very understandable from the word is that it's a beginning and introduction phase. If you watched Avengers, you can know that everyone in this team has different priorities and different perspective to the life. And this is very good example of your beginning of the term, as in when you elected your EB team. In your EB team, everyone had their own tasks, their own personality, and their approach way to the discussions, to the examples, and even to their life. So, with that, what's your role in the forming phase? It's very important because as a leader, you have to make sure that you clarify roles within your team from the first phase that you are going to experience. And also, it's very important that you are setting a vision that will gather everyone in your team under shared one mission that will make everyone to understand that they are aligned. And we are now going to the second one, which is a bit scary, but you have to face it. The second one is storming phase, which is also known as a conflict phase. For you to understand it better, I will go through an example again, which is also from the Avengers. I think it's very known that one of the movies, Iron Man and Captain America, started to have a conflict, which influenced the whole team dynamics. It was just between the Captain America and the Iron Man, but with that battle and with that conflict, everyone within the team was involved. And the thing is that it's very important that to understand these kind of challenges and these kind of storming phases can happen in your journey in different timelines. And it doesn't mean that it's end of the story, because it's just the beginning of the story. As you can see, this can happen in any time. So the thing that you should do as a leader is that to understand both sides, that is having the disagreement, and guide them, listen to them, to make sure that you know all perspective that's going on within your team. And this is the most essential part of being the leader, because you're very objective. You don't have positive things through one person or another. You're very objective, neutral, and you're guiding your team. And with that, I think most of the time we are thinking that if it's the storming phase, it's done. It's the last phase of your team, but no. All the time that you are having your storming phase, there is the next step of it. There's the next scene and next cut, which is the norming phase, as known as the alignment phase. Because storming phase doesn't mean the story ending, and it's not a big deal, because after all, it means that your team is trying to work with each other, so they're having the conflicts. So norming phase. We talked about the Iron Man and the Captain America having a disagreement and having a conflict. But did Avengers movies end? No. It means that they tried to have the solution and actually they were successful on it. So it means that we are going also to try this. And with that, after the conflict between them, they started to trust each other because they knew their good and bad sides, because they worked very closely. And after this conflict, they started collaborating on a battle plan that they will have with their enemies. And it's very important for your team to gather together after this storming phase and collaborate with their synergies, with their departments, with their LCPs, like you with you. And here it's very important that you are being a role model for them after a storming phase in your norming phase. You are going to reinforce positive behaviors, you are going to empower the autonomy within your team members and celebrate the small wins, because it is the best way to encourage your team members to work with each other, because they have to have the big result for achieving the performing phase before going on it. And the last one, which is the one that we are also striving to reach without other team phases, which is the performing phase, and as well as the impact, where your team is starting to perform, which, let's go through the Avengers. They started from the different timelines, different stories. They're going to have the conflict. They're starting to collaborate on how to have the battle plan for their enemies, and then they're going to the battle where they're performing, where everyone is understanding their roles, and every movie member and the character are going to perform and have that solution barrier for their enemies and for the problems. So in that final New York battle, the synergy and high impact is the solution of it. And to reach the performing phase of your team, it is like an impossible thing to go to the performing phase without your forming, without your storming, without your norming phase. That's why if you want to reach to your ideal EB state, ideal EB team, you have to go through team phases, so you will get to know your EB team better. And with that said, you have to be as a leader to delegate in the performing phase, to delegate all the tasks, delegate all the plan very strategically, coach your members, and also make sure that you're focusing on maximizing the team performance, because when it's the performing time, it is the time that they need not the micromanaging, but the coaching, because they know each other, they know how to collaborate, but the strategic thinking is depending on you. So with that, as we talked about a lot about the team phases, I will let you have a few minutes for you to reflect on about your EB team. So which phase is your team right now, and where your leadership actions for passing this phase to another phase. And the last one, which is a bit self-reflection, is that if you could edit one moment in your leadership journey so far, what is gonna be? So dear leaders, once you completed your reflections, take a moment to imagine your EB like the Avengers preparing for the final battle. And here your leadership choices will determine how your team performance and the impact you create. Thank you for engaging in Leaders Cut Space. And remember, you are director of your team and you are director of your own LC story. And do not ever forget, with great powers comes the great responsibility. Thank you.